Well, good morning, guys. It is another week of training and I have done absolutely nothing. Monday was my day off. So last week was quite a week. It was a lot of training. It was kind of all near the end of the week just because of how our schedules worked out with work and everything. So everything was near the end of the week. But during I think Tuesday last week, my son had ended up going to the playground. He said he hit his head on the slide and started complaining that his head was hurting. And I was like, okay, it's fine. You'll get an ice pack. It's fine. And later on in the evening, he just kept complaining that it still hurt. Long story made short, all of a sudden, he just started projectile vomiting. So I was like, oh my goodness, he has a head injury. So we took him to the children's ER, got him checked out. They were going to scan him and see if he had a subdural bleed or whatnot. And they were like, no, let's just observe him for a little while. Ended up, it was a coincidence. He got a stomach bug the same day that he hit his head. And then the next day, Summer got the stomach bug, so I took care of her. And then during that, I felt horrible. I never threw up, never had any stomach pain or upset stomach. I just ached all over. And I still 11 laps at Shawnee Mission, which was 50 miles, and I wanted to do 12. I felt horrible. I literally felt like I was going to collapse and fall off my bike. I just felt horrible. But I felt amazing up until that last few laps. So it's been odd. I've been trying to get myself back going. I don't know if I'm just worn out and exhausted and I need more time off, or I've got that bug that my kids had last week and it's just, kind of working its way out. Either way, I kept training, but I did back off a little bit this weekend. My husband was... This and my next week will probably be my peak weeks of distance and time, and overall before Chattanooga, we're 40 days away from Ironman Chattanooga. I cannot believe it. So, with that said, I'm going to go get a brick workout in, probably 45-minute ride, and then probably just a 20-30 minute run, and then call that good, and then get our day started. So that is what it is looking like for us today. That run and bike is done. I did 40 minutes on the bike and 25-minute run and just a good brick to get in. It seems like I've been doing longer rides and longer runs and then not combining them together just for time purposes. I just didn't have enough time to combine. That felt good to just be on the treadmill and the bike for an hour. I'm like, now what am I gonna go do? So, all right, so I've got to go run some errands and then somehow get my kids to stop fighting upstairs. Well, good morning, everyone. I am getting ready to actually go downstairs and do another workout. I'm actually downstairs because I have both of the kids today. So I am planning on doing about a 90-minute spinnerful workout on the bike and then about a 30-minute run, so a 2-hour workout total. All of the, my big training stuff is all pushed at the end of the week because my husband's off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm going to be doing most of my hard stuff, 60 miles of hills, 90-mile training ride, a 15-mile run. It's all going to be condensed into the end of the week. So I feel really good. My legs feel fresh, but I just know that it's all coming later. So I'm going to try to get this 2-hour brick run in, or brick workout in, and hopefully everything goes well. Finish my spinnerals, just winding down, and then a 30-minute run over there. So, felt good. My legs weren't agreeing with me. I feel like I have energy, but my legs are just no, not today. Stop trying. So, they're feeling a little bit better than when I started, so hopefully the run will feel good too. So, a few more seconds, and I'll switch. I'm a sweaty mess, and I finished 35 minutes, which was 3.5 miles. So I am done. So I'm gonna go shower, get cleaned up, get these kids to bed. It's a good day when you get new chews. So I got my trusty honey stingers with cherry cola, and then Goo is no longer at Running Warehouse anymore. So I ended up having to get Cliff shot blocks, which are okay, but the tropical punch one. So Goo watermelons are usually my favorite, just to like store on my bike or put on my pouch when I run. But I went to Running Warehouse and they didn't have any. And then I went to Amazon and they were all out of stock. And then I went to Goo's website and they were gone. So I don't know what is going on with Goo chews, but they're my favorite. And they don't have them right now. And I just hope that it's like a temporary out of stock. I have no idea, but I'm just hoping that Goo Chews actually gets them all back, because that is like one of my trusty ones. I mean, honey stingers, these are my favorite. So I like these the most, but Goo's were kind of my secondary ones, because the Cliff shot blocks, they seem to be like super sticky and just like stick in your teeth more than any other chews. But they're gonna have to work because, like I said, we're 39 days out from Ironman Chattanooga, and I need to practice some more with the shot blocks and make sure that it's okay with my stomach, because my stomach can be very, very finicky. Well, good morning. I don't know about you guys, but today's morning is tough waking up. I don't know what it is. It's getting longer and longer to get light, and it is just kicking my butt. I got up at 6, which is very similar to what I wake up to every day, but for some reason I'm just so tired. I think it's also the daunting task of, 60 miles of hills that I'm about to endure, so I'm not too excited about that. But I am just making my coffee and getting breakfast ready so that I can head out to the park. Just gotta get it in early, and the wind is already blowing at like 20 miles an hour, so we will see how well this goes at the park. The park's like, a big circle, so you're never in one direction for a long amount of time, but usually in certain areas, like it'll whip around my tires or whatnot. So a little nervous since it's 6:20 and there's 20-mile-an-hour winds already. So I have to check the weather forecast, but I will check in with you guys right before I get ready to leave, and hopefully more awake. All right, so I've got my 4 water bottles. I've got my new Goo Chews and my new, I guess Cliff Bar Choms, and then my honey stingers, the cherry cola. So that took like 8 minutes just to get enough water and nutrition on my bike. It's crazy how much you need when you're out for like 3.5 hours. But I think I got everything ready. Well, I am at the park and the wind is blowing. I'm a little nervous for this. All right, so I am 9 laps in, so 40 miles, 40.1 miles, and I've got 3 more laps to do. Just gotta switch out my water. I ran out, and then I have to get a water bottle, and then I'll check in with you when I'm officially finished. I'm done. I'm tired. Looked at my watch. It was more anaerobic than it was aerobic. I think it was sustained 20 to 30 mile an hour winds with like, I have to say 35 to 40 mile an hour gusts. There's a couple times it would get my front wheel, and I think I peed my pants because I thought I'm gonna fall. So, felt good. I'm tired. My watch says rest for 3 days, but that's not gonna happen. I still got a long ride on Sunday, but get cleaned up, go home, and start the rest of my day. So the Viter energy mints, they had reached out to me and they asked if I wanted to give them a try. So I'm going to give them a try. They all come with like B12 in them, so that converts like basically your food into energy, think of it that way. And then they also have like 40 milligrams of caffeine. So I think 40 milligrams is like a soda or a good cup of coffee. So that's pretty exciting. 1 mint, I smell better. And then I also get caffeine and then B12. So vitamins, caffeine, and I smell better. That's like a win-win. That's a trio of goodness. So I'm gonna give them a try and let you guys know how they are. I have to say, they're really good. So I also wanted to catch you guys up with what has been going on in our lives. So Summer and Max start school late. They start in like September. So September 4th is their first day of class, so they haven't started yet. And then Sam is working crazy like always. And then I am working part-time, still teaching paramedic. I have also returned back to college. I am going to do a bridge program, so where I'm going to take my paramedic and I'm going to bridge it into an RN. So it's going to be like a BSN RN, and it's a 1-year program, but I have 1-year prerequisites, so 2 years total. The kids are going to go to school 4 days a week for 3 hours each day. And then also they're doing dance, gymnastics, and soccer. Now, not all 3 of them. Summer's doing dance and gymnastics, and then Max is doing soccer and gymnastics. So it's going to be such a busy year with us. It's going to be a busy 2018 for us. Preparing for a long ride around 80-ish miles, and then making it a brick workout with a small run afterwards, so about 2-3 miles, just a quick switch over. But I'm just getting like some oranges peeled up and put in a Ziploc bag. I've got Uncrustables, and then I've got my trusty chews, which I do like my Cliff Chomps, the tropical punch. They ended up being good the last time I did my longer ride. And then I have 3 water bottles. I normally have 2, and I stop off like at a couple gas stations, but last time I did that, I went without water for like 45 minutes, and it was not fun. And it's already, I think, like 80 degrees, 79 or 80 degrees. So usually my 3rd water bottle carrier is where I store like all my tools. So like if I get a flat, fingers crossed, I'm taking it off, because I'm like, I'm just gonna have extra water this ride, because it is super windy, super hot, and I don't want to be without 3 water bottles. So I'm gonna finish getting ready and then go get my cycling clothes on. Yeah, and it's 90 degrees and I have a jacket on. Go get my cycling clothes on, and then I will be ready for this long Sunday ride. My dad made this extension to the wing, so this metal part, and it allows me to have a light, because it was also full with like my air cartridges, and then the pump, and then I have a tube, so it was just getting full. But he was able to make like an extension to come off the X-Wing lab and then use my light. So now we'll be even safer. All right, so my bike ride is done. It is now evening time. I literally got home, ate, took a nap, and then we went out to dinner with my parents. But I ended up doing an 85-mile ride with no run afterwards. So I was exhausted. So it was like 85, but it was like 78% humidity with 30-mile-an-hour winds with like 35, 40-mile-an-hour gusts. So it wasn't too bad heading out, wasn't too warm. I was just like dripping, like absolutely dripping. And I think it was mostly from just like the humidity, because it was like 78% humidity, and I just felt like I wasn't cooling myself. And the wind wasn't too bad on the way out, but about 2 hours in, I started getting really strong headwinds and really strong crosswinds, and it just beat me up. I mean, there was a point in time I was going downhill, and I was pedaling so hard just to get downhill. I mean, 40-mile-an-hour winds, that's what people talk about like in hurricanes. And in Kansas, it's not abnormal to have 20 to 30 mile an hour sustained. But the gusts were horrible. And then I got the crosswinds on the way home. It was not fun. But when I had a tailwind, it was great. But just with the heat and the wind and then the length of the ride, it was only 85 and I needed to do 116 for Chattanooga. So hopefully it was just like an inclement weather kind of thing, and I just didn't feel as well. I got home, I laid on the floor and just like tried to cool down. Normally I just like go ahead right out for my run, but my husband looked at me and he's like, "You're not running, are you? You don't look very good." So it wiped me out today. So it was good overall. I mean, it took like 4 hours and 45 minutes, just around like 5 hours. My watch died about a third of the way into the ride, which I knew it was going to because it was only like 20%, but I don't know how long, how far, how much ascending, descending, any of that I did, but I do know that I went around 85 miles because I've done that loop before, and it's like around like 81 or 84 or 85, somewhere around in there. So felt good. But this week of training is over. I'm just getting ready for the next week, which it's kind of overwhelming, but in some ways in about 10 to 14 days is when taper starts. So I'm getting excited. Life will get so much easier when I have to go out for 5-hour rides every other day. And so excited for taper time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this week and following along with me and my family and then just with my training. If you do, don't forget to give these videos a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Hit that subscribe button and I will check in with you guys next week. We're almost at peak week and then taper week. 35 days till Ironman Chattanooga. Have a good night, guys.